times, and it would not be to that level.
All right, and welcome back, folks, to another episode of A Distinguished Conversation. As always, I'm your host, Noah. To the right of me, I have my good co-host, as always, Caleb Deal.
Howdy.
To the right of him, we have Eli Myers.
Special guest.
What up? I am Caleb's roommate. Fun fact. One of them.
Yes. And
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
And you've been begging us to be on the show. So.
I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He hopped in our comments. So if you want to be on our show, hop in the comments on Instagram. While you're there, like all of our posts and give us a follow.
Yeah.
And watch all of our, listen to our podcast.
Valid.
We're trying to get better at posting stuff. But yeah. And then making his grand triumphant return.
I
feel like this is like the fourth grand triumphant return you've had.
I was about to say that. It's either been way too many returns or I...
Stop coming back. Stay or leave.
For real. I can choose one or the other.
No, don't stop coming. And then don't stop coming.
Should I stay? That's right.
But yeah, well, we have ourselves a good posse today.
Good
why don't you introduce yourself, Eli? Tell us about yourself.
I'm Eli Myers. Actually, I'm trying to go by Elijah. It's my full name. So we put it on here. Everyone in the world will hear that.
That is
Right.
true.
So no one will call me it.
All right, we got to start over.
Run back.
Right, yeah. Doo-doo.
Hello, everybody. This is Elijah, our guest. Everybody else you already know.
It's working.
Ooh. All right,
hold on,
so-
I gotta replicate Noah's. Howdy, folks. We're back with the distinguished
There you go,
conversation.
You got it.
Gotta get that howdy in there.
Anywho,
For real.
Elijah, tell us about yourself.
I work at your local Starbucks. So if you need a
Barista man.
coffee, I guess you could come in.
You know, I never knew you were supposed to tip Starbucks baristas.
We
Or like people do. Like, yeah, no, I never realized that
can.
people do. That's what I meant.
No,
I guess
it's-
not that you should. Like, I mean, you should if you have that kind of disposable income, or you're
if
like
you're
just a
getting
good
Starbucks
person.
that much, you have enough to tip. And if you're not tipping, then you're
That's what I'm
just
saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're not a great person.
That's why last time I went to
you're hoarding it.
Starbucks, it was me and my girlfriend, and we went. And I just got her a drink because I didn't really want one.
Repeat that way sometimes.
And then I pull up to the window to pay, and they're like, "Yo, we got this like large caramel crunch something." They're like, "It's just extra, and it's been sitting here. You want it?" I was like,
Venti caramel ribbon crunch, all right? Come on.
"Yeah, that one." I don't ask me what he said. I already forgot. But yeah, I got that, and I was like, I feel like I come through here, like we come through together enough for me to be able to tip. So I was like, I just tipped him for the extra drink.
Which one did you go to? Was it
The
which
one on Rock and Harry.
I don't work there. I work at 21st in Greenwich.
No,
across the street from
stop
the
lying,
Target.
Eli. You work at every Starbucks.
Oh,
Every
sorry.
Starbucks
I
ever.
work at every Starbucks.
Every
Right.
single one. He
Or
actually
every
is the CEO of Starbucks.
All of them.
If I was a CEO of Starbucks, I would not be living with two other people.
Fair enough.
I would have my own place.
He looked at you. He's like, I would not be living with your ass.
That is absolutely fair. I don't blame you.
It'd be that way. I said it earlier today. Humans, the worst thing to happen to the world.
That's
Yeah,
a
no,
fact.
that's-
Humans fucking suck.
There's not an argument for that.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Just a little fun fact. You know?
I'm trying to remember. That was a lovely noise that you brought. Do you have any more of that?
Ooh, I like that. Do that one again.
That's some
wait,
lovely
ASMR
spangled
podcast?
ice.
Speaking of
distinguished ASMR.
lovely things,
ASMR Distinguished Conversation.
the song. So we just watched a lovely movie called Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which
I
I
have never
have
seen
been-
it before. Actually,
I've been pushing for that movie for so fucking long.
It's such a good movie.
Favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys thoughts on it?
Well,
Oh,
how
we'll
about
go around the room.
everybody?
Go around the
Yeah.
room. Start with Marcos.
Wait, what am I doing?
Favorite thing about?
Favorite thing about the movie?
What did you think about
Yeah.
the movie? You don't have to say favorite thing.
I
but
love the
just-
movie. This wasn't my first time watching it. I've watched it over and over. I watched it a bunch with my friend Cruz because it's his like favorite movie
You're
of all time
talking
as
to the
well.
Microphone.
My bad. I move around too much when I'm talking, dude.
Yeah.
But it's my homie Cruz's like favorite movie of all time as well. So I've watched it a bunch with him. Every single time I watch it, I notice like new things about it.
Same here.
It's such a good movie. It's so fun the whole time. I mean, every time I watch it, I'm like, I fucking hate Scott Pilgrim 'cause he's kind of
He's a dick.
douchebag asshole.
He's not the
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah,
He's not the hero.
still a good movie.
because he's trying to he was dating a 17-year-old.
He's dating a minor.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah. We'll
Eli,
talk
thoughts?
about that.
So I had never seen it before.
Elijah.
I have, thank you.
Elijah.
Thank you.
Elijah.
Thank you. I've tried to watch it a bunch. Like when it was on Netflix, I just always found something else. Most of the time, I watch Superbad.
Right.
It'd be that way sometimes.
That movie's so good. Anyway, okay, wrong movie.
Add it to the list.
When Caleb told me there was going to be a lot of like video game references, I wasn't expecting like just the audio cues, like the Legend of Zelda
Right.
noises. It had the Mario coin pickup.
Yeah.
It
had
those
Sonic's
little-
rings.
It had a
Yeah.
whole little thing from Skate 3.
Yeah, like
It
just
did,
those
yeah.
little things. That if you didn't play them, you wouldn't. You think it's just generic video game, but it's like directly
Yeah.
referencing certain video games, and I thought that was really interesting.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, the comic book is like the exact same way,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. So this whole movie was based off of a series of 6 comic books, with the first 5 releasing before the movie, and then the 6th releasing just after the movie launched.
Right.
And there's also a video game which was released, I think, with the movie as well. So yeah, that's a whole like arc of things that, and then the one thing that I love about this movie, there's a whole lot of things that I love about this movie, but one of my favorite things about this movie is the cast who play Scott Pilgrim, Kim, young Neil, all of them, they all played the music that you hear in the movie. So
They
Yeah.
actually did that. There wasn't- oh wow.
yeah, so they all sat down, learned how to play those instruments, learned how to sing, learned how to do all those things. And it's the entire cast, not just Sex Bomb, but everybody who had a part learned their part for the movie.
Wow.
So Black Sheep, which is
Brie Larson.
which is the part where Brie Larson is up and singing.
Right.
Brie Larson.
I know, right? But
in this movie, yeah.
there's 2 versions of that song. The original version was created by a band called Metric.
Yes.
And they
We
do
listened to that
yeah,
on
we
the way
listened
here.
to the Metric version on the way here. And so they still do all of like the backing tracks for it, but Brie Larson has her version of the song in the like
She
release
redid the
soundtrack as
vocals.
well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the soundtrack is great. Like I remember I'd actually come across this movie a couple years ago, but
It's been out for 13 years. I mean,
was it was that your take on the movie, or did you
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
We can continue on.
But yeah, I'd come across it a couple years ago and it just seemed right up my alley, but unfortunately I didn't have Netflix at the time, and it was just cheaper to buy The Office, so like
oh, well, it's The Office. Where you can't go wrong with that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
and that all being said, like I just never got around to watching it, kind of similar to you. But I'd listened to the soundtrack. I'd seen different clips on YouTube, like the bit where, oh, Scott's not here, he just left. That is one
the
of my
window.
all-time favorite scenes in all of cinema, just because like I've seen it a million different times.
See, I knew
just
that
different-
scene was going to happen from that movie because I saw like a behind the scenes of it.
Yeah.
And Michael Cera just walks off, and the stunt double, like just running from the side, just actually jumps through the window, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
He actually went through the window, that tiny window.
Well, that's actually something that I really loved about this movie, is like the way that they filmed it and the way that they like, whether it was scenes, transitions, stunts, like little things like that, where
Everything flowed so well.
The
does do a
cinematography
good
is
job of that.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I have never seen such a phenomenal fever dream of a movie. Like,
I thought it was going to end with him waking up and the whole movie being a dream.
Yeah.
That's how I was like, there's no, like, after the first fight, when he fights the first Evil X, I was like, he's going to wake up. And then everyone was just like standing around like, did that just happen? And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
is this supposed to be real life right now?
Yeah.
For real, that's the exact same thing I thought the first time I watched the movie, and then every single time I watch it afterwards, I'm like, he gets in the fight with the first Evil X, and then he like defeats him or gets beat or something like that, and I always think like he's gonna blink, and it's gonna be like, in reality, that'll happen in like 1 second. And he just like zoned out for a little bit.
I thought what was going to happen, he was going to be like standing there just on the base, and the band was going to mess up.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing that I've noticed about the movie is Scott Pilgrim is actually a really fucking good fighter.
yeah.
And I'm not sure why. I was thinking about it while we were watching the movie, and I think it's because he was playing that ninja game with knives.
Right.
Also,
Well, at the end, they reference back to that when Knives is fighting, him and Knives are fighting the last
Yeah.
Evil X.
yeah,
What was his name? G-Man?
Gideon.
G-Man
Gideon,
Gideon.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I kind of noticed that. I was like, why is he just flying and like doing all these spin kicks?
Oh yeah,
and
no,
all
he
this
does all
stuff?
kinds
Like,
of spin kick. He does genuine martial arts.
Okay, so that's actually another thing. Why is the cinematography and like especially the action sequences in this 13-year-old movie way better than anything that's come out since?
Because people don't give a fuck about the movies that they put out anymore.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
It's just
I think they just try to push him out.
Yeah.
Actually, quick little segue. I finally finished my paper in the essay part of the Indiana Jones thing that I've been working on.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, now I just have to do the hard part and learn how to video edit. So
Sweet.
Nice.
but
It's fun.
so I've heard. But yeah, I was wondering why he just knows how to do all these spin kicks and everything. But yeah,
Yeah, I do think it was from him playing the ninja game.
Mhm.
But I don't know if it's from him playing the game, because when he's talking about having, also none of this shit's gonna make any sense if you haven't watched the movie. So if you haven't watched the movie,
Watch the movie.
pause the podcast, go watch the movie. It's like, I think $1.99 to rent on YouTube, so go do that.
I think realistically, if you're going to go onto a podcast that you know is going to talk about Scott Pilgrim versus the World and you haven't seen it, why did you click on it in the first place? Watch the movie first, then come click on it.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe
I mean,
some
it kind of makes sense, because there are sometimes where I'll like watch a podcast or watch like a video about a movie or like a show that I haven't watched yet, but I'm like, I don't really care about getting spoilers because I don't think I'm gonna
And
watch
don't
it.
you fucking dare just go watch like a recap. This movie deserves so much more than a recap.
For real.
Well, I think like I had seen like a recap on YouTube, and it doesn't do it justice.
No, not in the
Because, like,
slightest. Like, you'll understand the plot, maybe, but you're not gonna get all the little details, all the little Zelda sounds, all the little
Right.
like the transitions.
Yeah.
My favorite fucking transition in the entire movie is Scott Pilgrim and Knives are in the library. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he goes downstairs, and the song called "Garbage Truck" starts playing.
Yeah.
And as he sees Ramona, it like transitions into the band Sex Bomb in rehearsal.
Mhm.
And the lead singer goes, "Scott, what the fuck are you doing? Get your head in the game. You've only been playing one note
But
this
he's only
entire
playing
time."
the one note.
And if you go back and listen to that part of the movie, he's only playing the one bass note the entire fucking
Yeah.
time. The attention to detail in this movie is fucking phenomenal, dude.
Ridiculous for such a silly movie, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can tell there was so much love put into it though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
I
Absolutely a
guarantee
passion
they
project.
had a great time putting all the scenes together, just making the movie.
For real.
yeah.
Even like the stunts, because Michael Cera did a lot of those fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like you could tell, like the entire time he'd go through a fight scene, I'd stare at his face and be like, "Is this actually Michael
There were
Cera?"
times where I think there was one shot towards the end when it shows like an above camera angle, and they like never really show his face.
Yeah.
I think that's because that's what there's people jumping over him, and he's jumping over people, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the times they,
Yeah.
anytime you couldn't see his face
that
directly.
being said, even the CGI is just really great for
so
this
good.
like
It's so
13-year-old
good.
movie.
It just proves that like Marvel CGI has been dog shit recently, and DC's
It's
CGI has
because
been
they
dog
try
shit.
to pump
It's-
3
yeah.
out in 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's just rushed, and
Yeah.
they have the corporations
So-
pushing deadlines, and
Yeah.
Do y'all know the budget for this?
I'm gonna guess
12.
like
I have no idea.
$12,
700,000.
12.
I would say less than 5 million, but more than like 750,000.
I'm gonna say 1.3 million.
That's
1.3
that's a
million.
pretty good guess. Marcos, thoughts?
For some reason, I don't think this movie had over $1 million in the budget.
So y'all were all very off.
Is it really high?
In 2010, Scott Pilgrim was a box office bomb, grossing $47.7 million against its production budget of $85 to $90 million.
Damn.
What?
Okay, yeah, it was probably all in the CGI and like
Yeah. I mean, it comes through the like.
Yeah.
You can tell they fucking invested that money well.
But I mean,
For
also
sure.
look, like one of the first things we noticed while watching the credit or the intro credits was the cast is just
The cast is-
Anna
they
Kendrick,
have a
That is true.
fucking rock star
I think
cast.
so.
Evans.
They got away with not having to pay them as much because a lot of those actors weren't as like Chris Evans. I think that was had he done. I think he had maybe just done Fantastic Four
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
I think that was around the
Human
same
Torch.
time he did.
So he was
Fantastic Four.
probably the biggest actor that movie. Brie Larson, I think, was starting out a couple years before that.
I think Michael Cera was genuinely one of the biggest actors because he was he was really big with Lonely Island and
well, I mean, he was friends with like Jonah Hill, and all them,
all that stuff too.
Juno and
Juno was had to come out around that time.
Such a good movie.
You know,
Such
I
a good
started
movie.
watching it, but I started at like 2 a.m. and fell asleep.
Yeah, no, but you have like this rock star cast of like Michael Cera, Brie Larson, Chris Evans,
Anna Kendrick.
I was
They got
Anna
Kieran,
Kendrick.
Just watching as
Kieran
someone that
Culkin.
hadn't watched it, I was like, these people are in this movie?
For
These
real.
people are in this movie?
I was half expecting to see like Danny DeVito and like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ as himself. Like,
It's like,
Tom
get everyone in here.
Cruise.
yeah, just who else can we get shove in this movie?
The
Sonic
narrator,
the Hedgehog.
the narrator's voice is Bill Hader.
Really?
Like the voice in the movie is Bill Hader.
Nice.
So
That's beautiful.
Damn, that's fucking awesome.
But yeah, that's just a great movie.
for real, another point to
very,
bring
very
up:
good movie.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead revolutionized a generation. I will die on that hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
110%. She was the first woman that like I was like, damn, all girls are hot. Like,
Yep.
That's
Are we not gonna look back at Kim Possible? What's the name of the villain in Kim
Shigo.
Possible?
I never actually watched Kim Possible. This is my radicalization into alt women. Yeah.
Oh
You've
my
never seen Kim
gosh.
Possible.
Well, I've seen it now since, but like before I saw this, I'd never seen Kim Possible.
Or Teen Titans, there's Starfire. Her sister, is it Darkfire?
Blackfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Raven.
it for me. I was like, all right.
That's fair.
Well, I just like to imagine little Elijah Myers tunes in every Saturday. He's like, I hope
I love Teen
Blackfire.
Titans. The episode she was there, I was like, this is
She got
way
me on?
more interesting than it was 3 minutes ago.
There's actually like a song about like Ramona Flowers, and I believe it's by like Billy Cobb. I'm not 100% sure.
What's it about? Like, what's the song?
But it's like how Ramona Flowers ruined an entire generation.
Yeah.
Well, I think I know
Scott
what you're talking
Pilgrim, a whole generation of women. Scott Pilgrim versus the World ruined a whole generation of women. It's by R7CKY capital A. But yeah, it's like a.
It's so.
about. The R was actually an r/, and it's a Reddit post.
Yeah. It sounds like it would be a Reddit post, honestly.
real.
Fucking. This movie radicalized a whole group of young men. We can't stand for this. Women
like-
we need to wear long dresses and have their hair in braids at all
It
times.
sounds like a Facebook post. For
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
60-year-old mom.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. That being said, there's a scene at the end where like there's knives and she's fighting Ramona Flowers. Is that too much to ask for? Like an Asian chick fighting
Knives is a fucking minor. She's 17.
A child.
Also, we need to talk about
the
this.
actress was not
On trial-
but
on trial?
In terms of the story, yes. Let's talk about that.
So, story regards.
well,
Knives.
actually, at that point, isn't she 18?
No, she never. She actually.
'Cause she
Yes,
has
because
the birthday tune.
they break up on her birthday.
Yeah.
still no
So
better.
she is 18 at the end of the movie. That makes it a little bit better.
No, because he still dated her when she was
He
17.
still dated her when she was 17. So
And she
okay,
didn't-
so
And we're not gonna go into the whole Romeo and Juliet law, folks.
There's no,
No,
Romeo and
no,
Juliet
no.
clause. This man is 5 years older than her. He is
plus this is
22.
in Canada. It probably doesn't fucking exist in Canada. That's
Actually,
only a Kansas thing.
Let's
Yeah,
Fucking
we need to
weird
look
ass
that up.
Kansans.
We need to look that up.
the Canadian.
Yeah, what's the Canadian age of consent? I feel like I'm pretty sure like the international age of consent is 18. But
Well, I mean, I
Unless you're
think
just watching,
Kansas
like,
is 16. Different states are different.
Holy sh!
what
It's 16.
in Canada?
Yes.
Fuck.
So-
I mean, all right. Scott
Well,
Pilgrim's in the clear, I guess.
Kansas
Yeah.
has the age of consent of 16 also, but you can't be if you start. I think you start dating when you're 18 or older. It's illegal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's only okay
It's like
if
if-
you start dating before you are both
If like
when you're both younger than 18. So like
Right.
if one person's like 17
and then
the other's
turns
like
18,
and then
the other one's
turns
16.
yeah.
it's still
It's fine.
It's okay because you started before, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
its own Romeo and Juliet
it
laws.
still feels
It is.
scummy though.
when
It's grooming at that
22
point, really.
dating a 17-year-old, that
is grooming.
that's when
It
it's
feels
bad.
scummy if it's like weird. If it's like a 17-year-old dating like way too like a 14 or 15-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Or like 14 mostly. But
Canada-
like if you're like 17 and 16 and the 17-year-old turns 18,
Yeah,
I feel like
I
that's
don't-
not as bad.
Yeah.
if
It's
you're
just
starting, when you're both minors, it's
like, right.
It's less bad, but like
but that doesn't forgive Scott Pilgrim because
No.
he was 22
It
years
does
old.
it's a fucking pedophile.
What?
Yeah,
So what were
22
you over there ing about?
So it was like it was like a related search on the whole Canadian age of consent thing, and it was, can a 30-year-old date a 16-year-old in Canada, which means
Ew.
people had to.
People are curious. They want to know if they're getting in trouble or
Enough
not.
people for that to pop up as
Yeah.
a recommended search result, unless you have some fucked up search history.
Which I would
Yeah.
believe that.
Which I mean,
That
I'm
would surprise
not
me.
I'm not going to incriminate you or anything, but
I
it is
am.
a possibility.
I am.
That was people also ask.
Okay, fair.
But
crazy.
it was, can a 30-year-old date a 16-year-old, and then the response on according to TorontoDefenseLawyers.com, there is nothing that prohibits someone in Canada from dating a minor,
Ugh.
16 years of age and younger, so long as the date does not involve sexual activity.
There you have it, folks.
And Scott Pilgrim said that they had just held hands.
They only held hands.
And I think they kissed in the movie. I think she ran up and
gave
kissed him
a
in
kiss
the
on
movie.
cheek at the end of the movie when she was 18.
Well, no, when I think she showed when he first walked in with Ramona to the first Battle of the Bands before the
Right,
first
yeah.
ex-boyfriend.
But-
She runs in and kisses him on the lips. But so I guess Scott Pilgrim's in the clear.
Well, I
guess.
mean, like, he's in the clear as long as she's over the age of 16, according
She was
to
17.
Canada.
She was
She was
17.
17.
Right. But it's still, like, we
It's
gotta
still
have
weird.
standards.
Yeah,
people.
it's
This ain't Little House on the Prairie.
No.
Not
it's just
illegal,
scummy all
but
around, man.
Still,
It's still disgusting.
still gross.
It's yeah.
Isn't it crazy? This is something that I kind of think about sometimes. It's crazy, like
Whoa,
no,
wait,
shut up, shut the fuck up and let me talk, goddammit. Shut the fuck up and let me talk, goddammit. Like looking at my grandparents or like older people who are in relationships now, where they have like an like 8 or 9 year age difference. It's like, how the fuck did that work out when you were younger? If they had been together when they were younger,
You could have worded
shut the
that
fuck up and stop. You're like,
You
You
We're
can't
talking
just
about
segue from like
30-year-olds
pedophilia. Just like
dating
I'm not
minors, and
thinking
you're
about
like,
that a lot.
I think about this.
God damn
I
it.
think about this all the time. Actually, I can't get it out of my head.
Cut the-
I was thinking
What
about
were
the
your
entire movie to see if
intentions
I
when
could
you
get away
came here
with it.
tonight? What were you planning on doing, Marcos?
I'm leaving this podcast.
That's why he likes the movie so much. He relates to Scott Pilgrim. Because he wants to date Scott
I hate
Pilgrim.
you. I fucking hate you.
I do want to talk about Scott Pilgrim is not the good guy in this situation. Like,
He
he's
is
He's
not.
not.
No.
Anyone that plays the bass and moves around that much, yeah.
No.
He's jumping around playing the bass.
You're not the main character.
He's not playing the bass. He's playing the field.
Yeah.
The second I saw him play the bass, I was like, oh, he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. He's about to run into the drum set. Going do 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 do.
Yeah.
Pass me a bass.
I was gonna say, I'm looking right at you. I'm waiting for your clap back.
He's not even that good of a bass player.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it now.
Battle against
Like,
Todd. Todd's
Exactly.
demolishing him. Like,
yeah, when he's playing against the
Marcos,
vegan, he gets
pass me-
absolutely
pass me
shredded.
the
And
bass.
Todd has some sick fucking bass lines. I will say that
he
much.
has
Those are
some
fucking sick.
Sick bass lines.
He was playing chords, by the way.
He was.
I mean, chords sound good. That's why if you play chords, it's gonna sound good.
Yeah. Actually, you don't really hear chords on a bass all that often.
Tyler plays chords a lot.
Yeah.
Just kind of depends.
I guess I listen to a lot of like Thundercat, and that's what I go to with like
Alright. So let's
bass.
see.
That's like my gold standard for bass.
Dude, Thundercat is a fucking bit. That dude's insane.
Let's see. How does Garbage Truck go? Da, 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 da,
He plays one note.
Isn't something like that?
Oh.
That's not what Michael Cera's part is. Just like, doom, doom, doom. It's a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
More stagnant, I guess, or consistent.
There it is.
I'd have to. There you go. But yeah, that's definitely it.
So Michael Cera actually learned bass for this part?
Yeah, he did.
So does that mean Chris Evans actually did all the skating?
Yeah, did he go down
I
that?
bet
He go down that giant.
I think he
300
did
miles
some
an
of
hour?
it.
Oh, kilometers.
What am I? Oh, that's
Kilometers.
right.
200
Yeah, it's
kilometers an
not
hour,
in
which is
America.
actually
It's Canada.
That's right. This
it's
movie
only like
is
100
wrong.
miles an hour. I mean, it's
He's
not
not
that
American.
Yeah.
No, this movie isn't.
fast. Isn't Chris Evans a Canadian?
Yeah.
Is he? I know.
I'm pretty-
like,
Ryan
I'm
Reynolds
sure all
Canadian.
of-
Hugh Jackman's Canadian. Australian.
Yeah,
New Zealand. Australian.
Australian, yeah.
Is Chris Evans Canadian?
All of our favorite Americans are.
It says
Non-American.
American. It says American actor.
Then he's,
Okay.
He was born.
American.
He was born in Massachusetts.
Okay, fair.
Okay,
oh, so
that makes sense. He seems like a
He seems like he's from
Massachusetts
Boston.
man.
Plus, I think if you're gonna be cast as Captain America, you have to be at least born in America, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could do that with any superhero.
So
Anyone could say if you're going to be Spider-Man, you got to be born in Queens, and
True.
two of them have been British.
So I got a fun story time in relation to Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I met his stunt double's parents.
That's
Which stunt double?
How do you go about doing that?
Yeah. So
And
I
which
don't
stunt
think that
double?
just happens. I don't think there's like
I was
a way.
the stunt double for Captain America.
Huh.
So I was at work and I noticed this gentleman wearing it was a crew shirt for the 2012 Avengers film.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And maybe this guy was a part of the crew. So I go up and I ask him, I was like, hey, cool shirt. Where did you work on the film? And he was like, no, but my son did. I was like, oh, that's cool. What do you do? And he was like, oh, he was actually a stunt double. And I was like, that's really cool. And it was like, yeah. And he didn't seem to like want to talk about it. But then like he was also like, yeah, he was Chris Evans. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, that's really cool. So yeah,
That's crazy.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I hope and like I googled the stunt double guy later, and I'm pretty sure he's been like the stunt double for him for like most of the films. So yeah.
I don't think
crazy.
they change stunt doubles very much.
No.
So I'm assuming the main actor probably has like a pretty big say on who is their stunt double.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna be working with them constantly.
Yeah.
Plus, once you find a guy who looks enough like Chris Evans for you not to be able to be like,
When you find that stunt double, it's gonna be hard to find another guy
Yeah.
that looks.
yeah,
Unless you're Brendan Fraser, you just do all your own stunts,
true.
which is
Tom
crazy.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise does that.
Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
Jackie Chan is Jackie Chan. I mean,
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee in the Bruce Lee movies,
You know,
Mhm.
I
Chuck Norris.
Yeah. You know, Chuck Norris, he once died.
He's fucking dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but death is just too scared to tell him.
You know
I get the joke you're trying to say. You butchered it.
they tried to name a street after Chuck Norris, but they couldn't because no one crosses him and lives.
Nice.
So there was this one time that a cop pulled Chuck Norris over. He let him off with a warning.
Chuck Norris let the cop off with a warning.
Yeah.
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 You're close. You're getting there. I believe.
This. I guess I didn't explain that. It was Chuck Norris who let him off with the warning. I just said he let him off with a warning.
Yeah.
But you got what I was saying.
Yeah.
All right. Let me.
Back to the movie.
Yeah.
Anywho. So one thing that always like kind of slips my mind until I watch the movie again is the part with Matthew Patel where he's got the fucking demon ladies and he's singing like this like sick little like
Yeah.
like Hindu beat.
When they're like
Yeah.
flying in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that all about?
It's just Matthew Patel.
It goes hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It goes dummy.
Oh, it goes so fucking hard. If you want to fight me, you're not the brightest.
What was it? Like I commented, I was like, what's with this dude's outfit? And then like 2 seconds later, they're like, are you a pirate?
Yeah, what's up with this dude's outfit? Are you a pirate? Are you a pirate?
I'm glad they mentioned it. With the black jacket and the red.
Oh yeah,
and
it's a black jacket with a red and
shirt.
white striped shirt
Yeah.
with, with cuffed, ripped jeans.
Yeah.
And then he had black boots on too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The-
Everybody in this movie has emo boots. Like everybody.
yeah. Except for Scott Pilgrim.
I think he
just
wears Adidas,
Something like that. Yeah.
but they're a really torn pair of Adidas. So they're.
Yeah, they see
Pretty-
some shit.
Scott Pilgrim shoes. Let's find out.
We just watched the movie. I'm pretty sure. I swear it was Adidas. I could see him wearing Converse, but it was that.
I think it was Adidas. I think they had the
I'm pretty
stripes.
sure it was Adidas.
It was Adidas. Yeah.
Boom.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I know my shoes.
Talking about his shoes, the way he ties his shoes, like
It's the Canadian way.
Yeah.
I think they did it to like kind of make fun of like superhero suit up scenes because you never show the superhero like having to zip up his suit or like do the
They
buttons.
did that in a Deadpool 2 reveal trailer. They did that. He goes into a telephone booth and it takes him like 2 minutes to change into his suit, and the guy he's trying to save dies in the middle of the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's one thing I can't wait for, like when we do get an actual trailer for the next Deadpool film, is the marketing is going to be great.
Have you seen the leaks? The pictures of
Wolverine?
Oh, that wasn't a leak. Ryan Reynolds full on released that.
Ryan Reynolds also, it's still a leak. Like, he wasn't supposed to do that. Ryan Reynolds also revealed the first, have you seen like the footage of the concept of Deadpool, the first one, like in 2010, 2012?
Yes. It's pretty much a shot for shot.
It's very, very close. Like probably 95% shot for shot when he goes onto the highway and is fighting the guys in the cars.
Yeah.
But you can tell the just quality difference. It still looks good.
Yeah.
But Fox like made that, and then they scrapped it because they were like, people aren't going to want to have an R-rated superhero. So Ryan Reynolds took the footage and leaked it online. 4 years later, they make Deadpool 1.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then Deadpool 2, and now we're getting Wolverine back with Deadpool in the comic accurate suit, and it's going to be so good.
The funny thing about that was like when he was like, oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah, he just flat out was like, yeah, no, I did that. I did that.
Have you I think it was Seth MacFarlane. He actually also had like an animated Deadpool show that he'd worked on, and it also got scrapped. Like Deadpool's had a lot of stuff.
Deadpool's had a lot of stuff that was supposed to happen, and they didn't because people were like, I don't know if we want.
He's a very likable character. I feel like everybody wants that like people's person, not in a Spider-Man way, not in like the Goody Two Shoes Spider-Man way, but in like the like, I'm gonna shoot a guy. Fucking yeah. Like I'm not a good guy.
And the reason why they didn't make it sooner is because kids like superheroes. Yeah. And the little kids like, did that superhero just cut off that guy's head?
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's even a joke, and he's like, did that guy just turn that other guy into a fucking kebab?
When he in the first one, when he stabs the guy on the highway, he's like, you're probably sitting here thinking, my boyfriend said this was a superhero movie. But that guy just turned the other guy into a fucking kebab.
So what you're saying is we need to bring you back once we do Deadpool.
I love Ryan Reynolds, first off.
Right.
Yeah, I can tell.
Have my babies, please.
Oh my God.
I want to have your adopted babies.
Add it to the list.
I want to do more.
Scott Pilgrim
I want to do more.
That was a Scott Pilgrim callback to Wallace when he's talking to Chris Evans' character.
I love that character.
Wallace is
so funny.
Wallace is a fucking homie too.
For real. Bro, he sticks up for Scott so many times in this movie.
And he steals his Scott's sister's boyfriends.
Yeah.
With ease. And the way that Anna Kendrick responded, it's happened more than once, probably more than 2 or 3 times. Like, it's something that is an occurrence.
Yeah, you can see
it's one of those things.
As the movie plays on, more and more people come up from Wallace's bed.
It ends up like 4 of them in the bed.
He had like 4 guys.
And at the end, I think it's just one random guy.
Yeah.
Just in there. Like, the man he gets around. He gets around.
He fucks. Wallace fucks. Rightfully so, because he's a cool dude.
Just imagine that there's like that, what is it, like the early 2000s Disney Channel end of the movie where it's like Scott Pilgrim and Ramona went on to live their happy life, and then it was like Sex Bomb released another album with Epitaph Records, and then it was like Wallace died of AIDS 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Knives opened a sushi restaurant or something.
That's fucked up. She's Chinese, not even Japanese.
Bruh.
It's fucked.
Dude, the jokes in this movie are crazy too.
Oh my God, dude. Kung Pao chicken.
When he calls her Kung Pao chicken.
Fuck.
It reminds me of King of the Hill, where he's like, are you Chinese or Japanese? And then he's like, I'm Laotian. He's like, are you Chinese or Japanese? But yeah, no, there's a lot of jokes.
The use of the word lesbian reminds me of that, I think it was a Vine where the
L
girl's like, I'm a lesbian. She goes, I thought you were American.
Yeah.
I said lesbian.
I said
fuck.
The has-been joke.
Yeah.
Was so
Oh my
good.
god! It was.
Oh my
I didn't notice that
gosh.
until I just watched it because
so
it
good.
slid in there so fucking. It's so sly.
At first, I was like, did they? No, that happened. They did say that.
Yeah.
You were a lesbian. Now you're a has-been.
Oh man, I feel like
That needs to be an official term in the LGBTQ plus community. Like, if you,
I don't know if you have the pull to start. You know,
I don't. But somebody who does should start this, and I'm not gonna take credit for it. But
Let us
you
know.
should like give me a high five or something.
Let us know in the comments if that's been used
Yeah,
commonly.
if you were a
Anyone
lesbian,
a part of this
like, as-
community, if you would have started this,
You know,
Caleb was giving you permission to start
yeah,
using
plug our
it.
podcast, please.
let's
yeah, because
look
then
this
we
up.
get more traffic on our podcast and
Hell
we'll
yeah.
get put into more people's feeds.
Indeed.
has been plural has-beens, LGBT slang, derogatory, sometimes offensive. A woman who formerly identifies as a lesbian but now identifies as heterosexual or bisexual.
So it is a thing. Sweet.
It is.
And you can't call people that, Caleb. All right, I see that. I see the smile on your face. You're waiting.
This
I
is
just-
a
okay.
not on this podcast, but tune into traditional thing.
This
I
second
will,
this ends.
for the record, I didn't know that it could be derogatory until about 5 seconds ago, so I'm no longer going to say that word. The H word.
No,
the H word.
The H word.
the L word and the H word now.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lesbians, and has-beens.
Yes.
You got
That's another great joke. When he's like,
plural,
say
the
the L
past
word, and he
tense.
goes, lesbian? The other
No,
L
the
word.
other L word.
Lesbians?
I feel like every joke in this movie lands. Like there's not one joke.
I
where it
guarantee you a lot of the jokes were improvised.
Oh yeah, without
I
a doubt.
guarantee it.
So many like amazing jokes in cinematography are all ad-libbed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
the
so funny.
the actors who are actually funny and say the things, and the
like,
writers.
was in Fast 8 when The Rock like made that jab at
goes, oh, hide your baby, oh,
Yeah.
you better hide that big ass forehead.
I was joking.
made
And he
Ludacris
just
spit out his water. Yeah.
And the pain you hear from the guy's voice, like, I was just joking. It's
Yeah,
genuine
like-
pain.
Yeah, you know the funny thing is I've never actually seen, or no, actually I take that back. I saw the first two.
Fast and the
And
Furious.
you watch
movies.
Fast
Yeah.
X.
They
Yeah.
have gotten ridiculous, and they're not. They're so bad. I don't like them at all. I think they're so. I think they're garbage. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I think
That's
that they
fair.
have
Yeah.
started at a point where like, oh, we're street racers, and then they developed to, yeah, we're fighting personal armies in our Mustangs and Ferraris.
It'd be that way.
We're going to the
sometimes.
moon in a car.
It's just one of those things.
I watched
though,
the
you know?
trailer, like the new one, and one clip. I was like, yeah, it's not going to be a good movie. Is Vin Diesel like ramps off of a bridge,
Yeah.
and there's two helicopters attached, like wired his car in, and he
Yeah.
jumps off the bridge, and I guess the inertia or weight of the Mustang he has pulls the helicopters in and makes them crash against each other.
That's not how that works.
Yeah,
Fast and Furious said so.
You know,
Fair enough.
That's crazy though. They've
it's
gone
because
all
of
the way.
family.
Yeah.
Because of
Family.
No, you said it wrong.
His car runs on family, not gasoline.
Helicopters down.
Are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
No, that's my impression of Vin Diesel. Because like every time I hear that man talk, it's like negative
That's so
20
bad.
decibels.
So
and,
bad.
like,
Yeah.
It sounds like he's gargling marbles. Like
It's like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except yeah, he's got a little bit more of a.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone is just louder,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but also that man.
But Sylvester Stallone is.
It's Rocky
He's Rocky.
Balboa.
Rocky
Yeah.
Balboa.
Rocky.
You know, I don't think I've actually ever like I've seen.
Don't
bits
say
and
what you're
pieces.
about to. Don't say what you're about to say. I'll take offense.
Are there
to
any
it.
movies that you have seen other than the ones that we've
How
shown
have you
you?
not seen Rocky?
How
I've
have
seen bits and pieces.
How have
How
I
you-
watched the Rocky movies before you? I'm the one that doesn't watch movies.
That's
I
fair.
don't know. I don't know, but
Come
I'm sure
on.
there's-
Hogan was in Rocky 2, 3,
2, I think.
2.
3 is where he fights the Russian, I think.
Yeah.
No, 4 is the. So
Add 'em
it's
to the
Apollo
list.
Creed. Then it's.
God no.
I think that might be.
It's 4 more to the
I
list
think
of
it'll be
like
Clubber Lang in the
176
second
already.
one. Or is that the third one?
So
Well, do we really
second
have
or the
to
third
watch
one
the
is
fourth one?
Hogan.
Isn't
The
the
fourth
fourth
one
one-
is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Still
thought the
when he
fourth
fights Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
That's what
if
it
he
is.
dies.
I thought it was like the
Dies.
third or the fourth one that's just bad.
After the fourth one, they get a little more.
Oh, there's more after the.
Yes, there are a lot.
There's a fifth, I think, and then they have.
They have Creed.
Well, there's another one. I think it's just called Balboa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And that's about like. I don't think that's not really a boxing movie.
The new-ish one where he loses.
Yeah. Well, are you talking about Creed?
No,
Those are the newer ones.
No.
There was Creed was like.
There was
the
a
first
Rocky
one was like 2012 or some 2014.
Well,
No,
the
not
point of
Creed, the one
first
where-
one is
the one where
that he
Rocky
lost.
fights.
Rocky loses in a bit of his movies. He loses in the first one
Mm-hmm.
because that one's based off of a real story. Actually,
Yeah.
A guy went started just fighting. I think minor. I guess I don't know what the term is, but
Yeah.
like minor fights, and got his way up to like world heavyweight championship
Yeah.
fight, and he lost, but he lasted like 11 or 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And people were like, "This guy can actually do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And they made Rocky based off of it. Wait, I think it might be based off of Muhammad Ali. I need to look it up.
Maybe.
I don't want to say
Maybe.
it is and be wrong. I'm gonna look it up.
I will say the Creed movies are fucking phenomenal.
For
I've
The
heard
first
those are really
one
good.
is, I think, the better of the bunch. The most recent one, I think, is just to
I
kind of.
think the third one's the best.
Really?
I think the cinematography is crazy.
Oh yeah,
I
cinematography
think
in the third one was.
there's so many references to, like animes and stuff.
Yeah.
I think Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan are such good actors, and I think they truly show like a chemistry. Like I think their chemistry in the movie's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I know
Be
the
that
whole
way.
thing is at the beginning, Michael B. Creed like retires, and then Jonathan Majors' character comes back from prison,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Hey, I want to box," and he's like, "You help me. You're my bro. Like help me out." And Michael B. Jordan's like kind of reluctant about it, and he finally does it, and he's like super aggressive. He's becomes a sparring partner, and he's
Yeah.
super aggressive because the guy that he's sparring against is supposed to fight for the whole world heavyweight championship, and he like hurts him, or I don't remember the details, but he hurts him or whatever, and then Creed's like, "Oh, he'll fight in his place," and he's supposed to lose. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, it'll just be he'll lose. Our guy will stay the champion," because I think they both technically box under Apollo Creed's like gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan Majors' character like beats the hell out of him, just
Yeah.
beats him, and then he like leaves because he's like, "Oh my, I did it," and Creed's like, "Why? Like that's not supposed to happen. That's not what's supposed to happen." And he
Well, and
rightfully
it's also
pissed.
because he fights dirty. Like he like.
he doesn't fight dirty. It shows like he knows where people get weak at, and
Yeah.
he takes advantage.
Yeah.
He doesn't they
He
never
doesn't fight
show him cheating
fair
or anything.
necessarily. He doesn't. Yeah.
He will just utilize
Weak spots.
opponents' weak spots.
I mean, you did just come from prison. That's what
Yeah.
you said.
That's kind of what you do.
Yeah. You,
Also, Michael B. Jordan directed that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why all the anime references he threw in there. He's like, I want these.
Oh, that makes
There's
Hell yeah.
one that it replicates, I think Goku versus Frieza, where I think
Oh,
Frieza
shit.
punches him in the gut and like the sweat comes off of Goku's back, and he's like,
Yeah.
and that's directly in the movie. Jonathan Majors' character does that to Creed. They have a Naruto scene. I think is it Naruto and Sasuke. How did I say his name?
Sasuke?
Sasuke. And then when they both punch each other at the same time in the
Yeah.
face, that's in the movie. It's so good. It's
I
really
still need
really
to watch it.
good.
I haven't watched it.
I recommend watching.
I'd
it.
absolutely
but-
recommend it.
That one Rocky movie I was talking about was the 2006 reboot.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just called
that
Rocky
was
Balboa.
Yeah, that was the one. The after I think five, technically the sixth one.
Yeah,
I think.
it was after 5 is what I was reading.
Yeah, and that is. Have you seen the clip where Rocky's talking to his son and he's like, have you seen the super inspirational speech?
Mhm.
As you probably seen on TikTok,
From
where
Rocky.
he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're something about quitters, and that's not you or whatever. I don't know it.
Where he's
I'm
like
not-
yelling at him outside,
it's-
like in the alley of that one.
Such a
shit,
good
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah. I know exactly what
such
you're
a
talking
good
about, yeah.
scene. It's from that movie. I looked it up. Rocky's based off of Chuck Wepner. He was a boxer who almost beat Muhammad Ali, and that's what the movie's
okay.
based off of. I knew Muhammad Ali was somehow involved.
Cool. So Apollo was based off of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He had the same. He was the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
you know.
he took the
Yeah.
place of
But
Muhammad Ali in
the story is
story.
inspired
yeah.
by Chuck Wepner.
Sweet. That's fucking awesome.
It is so cool. I think they built a statue of Rocky in Philadelphia because the movies were so
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be that way sometimes, but you know who really deserves a statue?
Is that?
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
I disagree. Scott Pilgrim's he's not the good guy.
He's a
That is
douchebag.
true.
He's a douchebag who like goes after other.
Fine, you know
like,
who deserves a statue?
He cheated on knives, the
Wallace.
minor, which is not okay. Wallace does.
yes.
Wallace deserves a statue. That's a fact.
At his like gay.
Wallace and his six lovers.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say like at his memoriam, like you know.
Why did you at his gay? Why
Well, because
did you want to call it a gay memoriam?
Maybe I don't know.
It's just a memoriam.
His memorial.
Well, because remember he died of the AIDS. Remember?
Oh, yes.
I don't think that's confirmed. I watched
It's
the
not,
movie.
it's not confirmed, but if this was made 4 years sooner,
No,
it would've
if it was
at
made
this point, AIDS was
20 years sooner, yes.
Yeah.
In the 80s, absolutely.
80s, 90s, because Easy E from NWA, he died of AIDS in the late 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Ace of Spades. Ace
Can we talk
of
about
Spades.
why the hell this movie is 13 years old now?
I thought it was
It's
older. I thought
wild.
it was born
I
in
th-
like
it's-
mid 2000s.
Being around me my entire life, I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters,
Mm.
in all honesty.
Really?
I saw Robots in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original
That's
movie,
crazy.
my parents took me to go see it, and then every time I watch it after that, I feel cool because I'm like, yeah, I watched this as a child in theaters, and I had no idea what was happening.
Hell yeah.
You know what's going to be crazy in like 20
Be that
years
way.
when we have our kids and we talk about watching like Endgame?
Yeah.
For real.
Saying, yeah, I witnessed that in theaters.
Mm.
I remember screaming when Captain America calls back Mjolnir.
Mm.
So-
That was, oh my God.
That's going to be the Star Wars of our generation.
I think
For
so.
real.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's really funny.
But the thing is, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna wear it out. It's already getting old. It's
Yeah.
not that the movies are terrible. It's that I'm sick of seeing superheroes all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm sick of seeing so many Marvel heroes. We watched The Flash, me and Caleb,
Yeah.
with our other roommate,
Right.
and like watching Batman and Wonder Woman. I was like,
It was refreshing.
Is awesome. This is
You
cool.
know what?
I want to see these
movie,
guys.
I didn't like the movie just because I hate fucking
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
yeah.
And the
Yeah.
CGI was weird as fuck in that
CGI
movie.
was
It was so
bad.
bad.
It was so awful.
Max, you're wrong about the CGI. It's just bad.
I haven't watched the movie.
Okay,
I don't know if
Anytime they're in the
CGI,
Speed Force,
yeah. Any CGI revolving,
they look like wax figures. I'm sorry.
If the Flash is involved in the CGI, it looked bad.
All right,
Michael
so-
Keaton's Batman CGI looked
Oh, the Batman
so
CGI
good.
was fucking
the Batman.
phenomenal.
They made Batman look amazing.
That's where all the
Sick.
budget went. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I also after the Ezra Miller stuff, I bet they were like, no, we don't care about anything that shows him.
You
know,
let's
and-
make Michael Keaton
Yeah.
and Gal
Let's make him the
Gadot
star.
and Ben Affleck, and
You know,
let's make them
what's
look
her,
good.
what's her
Yeah.
name that played Supergirl? Sasha. I can't think of her last name right now, but
It's taking everything in me not to say Baron Cohen.
That's I was.
all right. There's a guy in the new Indiana Jones film, and every time I see it, I'm like, you look just like Borat. I'm sorry.
Sacha Baron Cohen is so good. I watched The Dictator. It's on Netflix.
Dude, oh my
The Dictator, yeah.
That movie's amazing. That
God.
movie is amazing.
yeah.
stupid funny.
Or Borat.
Oh, it's the guy that
Oh,
plays Borat.
Yeah. Okay,
But
yeah.
it's
I
a
just
different
connected
movie.
the dots. We talked about that like 10 seconds ago.
But
All right, cool. I'm lagging behind.
but yeah, the chick who played Supergirl, she's really good in it.
She did so good. I watched it with
And-
my girlfriend, and anytime she was doing stuff, I was watching my girlfriend like nerd out and geek out over
Yeah.
Supergirl, and I was like, "This is awesome. This is
Yeah.
why we need good, developed, strong
She's-
female superheroes in
Oh, yeah.
movies."
Yeah, she was
100%.
also hot.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'm saying is, my eyes, like I was, what is the word?
Your eyes were aflutter.
Sure, I was paying attention when she was.
I
on
could have
screen.
watched 2.5 hours of her just flying in one spot, and it would have been a good movie.
Yeah. There's lots of things about yeah. So Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Fucking,
superhero movies.
I think
The
we
power
missed the biggest reference to video games in the movie.
Which
the
was?
band is called Sex
The-
Bob
yeah.
Omb, and
Yeah.
in Mario the bombs are called Bob
Bob
Ombs.
bombs, yeah.
Yeah, so it's sex, but bombs.
It also uses like a little picture of the bob bomb on
Yeah.
the kick drum.
Well, not
Shit, I didn't-
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
they
like
do.
what they could do without getting in trouble.
I like
Yeah.
how
right.
I
You
like
know.
how like throughout the film, like the kick drum changes, and at like one point it just says drums.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many little things where it's like, this is this place.
there's-
It's just shy of labeling a label maker, you know. It's brilliant.
It's because there's narration through the entire movie, which is part of the reason it flows so well. Because you're never like, what the fuck just happened? It's like, this is what's happening.
Right.
So for the slower folks at home like myself,
but it doesn't
pay attention.
It does it in such a brilliant way where it doesn't feel like it's talking down to the audience. It like the whole time it's part of the movie, you know.
It feels like an old school video game where it's like, oh, you just played for 30 minutes, here's a cutscene, here's what's happening.
I really like at the end where instead of getting the power of love, he gets the power of self-respect.
And it's stronger than the power of love.
Yeah. It's
like double
it's twice as
stats or
strong.
whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot.
Which,
Man,
okay,
if
I'm
only
gonna
I
get
could unlock that power up, you know.
Also, deep about the meaning of the movie. I think if you look at it like from a deep perspective, I like to look at things kind of deep. If you look at the movie, I think it kind of talks about like when you get into a new relationship and you realize that person has dated other people before that are probably more attractive, better at things than you, and you're self-conscious about it, and you've got to like beat, like, I think it was more symbolizing him beating his insecure thoughts about himself.
And that's why the power of love failed, because you can't get over that if you don't deal with your own problems.
He has a self-respect where he's like,
it
doesn't matter if I'm better or not.
That was pretty much the whole movie. It was just a whole journey about self-respect, self-love, and like confidence.
And you know, just showing that like if someone's with you, they're with you because they're with you.
Yeah, it's like that it's like Scott Pilgrim finding self-confidence and also living the moment instead of dwelling on the past, because the past are all just memories and the future is just in your imagination.
That's why I didn't pick up on any of that. I don't have any of that self-respect stuff.
There you go. All you got to do is find the power of self-respect, and then you can have yourself
and a purple
a
samurai
voluptuous
sword.
alt girl.
And a purple samurai sword. Let's not forget about that.
And a purple samurai sword.
A purple samurai
One thing I fucking thought was really funny is after he does that, Gideon whips out a samurai sword, and it's like Swift or like style plus 10, cockiness plus 8, like money plus 10.
Well, he's immediately fighting like that too.
He's
like
fighting
with
one hand,
the other hand behind his back.
Bro, the choreography of this movie is better than any Star Wars fight I've ever, or any new Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
There you go.
And it's just it's better than a lot of the fight scenes that are coming out in movies now.
Yeah.
I think one of the best fight scenes ever in a movie ever is it has Chris Evans in it in Captain America: The Winter Soldier when he first meets Bucky.
Oh yeah.
The choreography in that is insane.
You know what?
It is so good.
What is so sad is the Russo brothers did that one,
Yeah.
and I'd argue that Winter Soldier is
It's one of the best,
if not the best.
It is
Marvel film.
one of the best. I wouldn't say the best. It's one of the best.
It's
up
certainly
there.
one of the best Captain America movies.
It's the best Captain America.
I think it's the best Captain America movie.
I could argue that
I go
Civil
Winter
War is
Soldier,
pointless.
Civil War, and then the first one.
Can I ask after you finish your thought? Actually, no. Finish your thought first. My bad.
But like, it's amazing how the cinematography in there, you can see everything happening, because like the scene where later they're on the what is it, the helicarrier, but it starts with them like facing each other, and they're quite some ways apart on this like bridge, and then they I'm trying to think of a word, then they finally run and embrace each other with fist and fury and whatever, but like the whole time you're watching that, you can see where his knife is, and you can see where the shield is, you can see where the fists are going, where kicks are happening, like everything that is happening. And then in Civil War, the next movie that the Russo brothers did with Marvel, like everything's just shaky and like.
I think Civil War was. I think after Endgame is when they kind of stopped putting in those details.
Yeah.
I think another reason why you could say about Civil War is there's so many other heroes.
Yeah.
Which I think that is. I wish they did. The shows is a good idea. They should execute it better. Like the Netflix Daredevil shows, give it 20 episodes.
Oh yeah.
I think they should have, if they would have done that earlier, Civil War should have been the first MCU series.
Without a doubt.
20 episode Civil War.
They did it in parts with the Marvel Shield. Agents of Shield.
That was like that's canon, but also not. It's so confusing because parts of it are canon, other parts aren't.
Right. So it covers a lot of the rise of Hydra. They do a lot with Hydra and all that. And that's only reason because I didn't watch Civil War until like probably about a year ago.
I watched that in theaters
Mhm.
when it came out.
Same here.
somebody's
I just
birthday.
never was a Captain America kind of guy.
I loved Team Cap all the way.
But the only reason I was able to understand it is because I was fucking watching the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie
Yeah.
or show.
You chose Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. over Captain America?
I just don't enjoy Captain. He's too like.
But you enjoy a bunch of like advanced CIA agents
Yeah.
over Captain America?
I only got through like the first 2 seasons. So it's like,
I think the only like show like Marvel show, okay, I watched through WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was really good. I watched through Loki. I thought Loki was really good.
Mhm.
I feel like I enjoy watching like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
The
That was so
cartoon?
good.
But
That was
yeah,
so good.
I'm starting like watching
It
through
was
it with my partner. and
amazing.
It's so dude, that
Amazing.
theme, that
It's-
theme song.
The
Have you
Secret
ever seen
Invasion
Spectacular
theme-
Spider-Man?
No. It's called Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
No.
he's-
I'm saying because Earth's Mightiest Heroes is great, but have you ever seen Spectacular Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah. Spectacular.
That theme song is like the guitar is
Did
just
you-
like
Speaking of Josh Keaton,
yeah.
have any of you guys watched Invincible?
Yeah.
Have you seen the lineup for the cast?
He's gonna be in
Josh
it.
Keaton is voice acting something in that.
But they
season
never say
2
what.
in the comic, the season 2, the comics they're taking, the strips they're taking out of Spider-Man is in the comics with Invincible.
What?
There's a chance.
That's crazy.
Well, it's in the same area, and I think that Amazon has TV show rights to Spider-Man. I think I saw something about that. I could be wrong.
Well,
But there is a chance we can get Invincible and Spider-Man, which would be amazing.
That's
Yeah.
really sick.
Well,
Omni-Man is also in Mortal Kombat 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
Homelander in Mortal
Dude,
Kombat 1. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Did you see the guy that leaked the first set? He was right about it. He leaked the second set. Doomslayer is supposed to be a character.
Really?
That's
sick.
Doomslayer.
Mortal
I wish I
Kombat
was in
1.
broke. I wish I was in broke. I want to pre-order the game so bad. It looks so
I'm gonna
good.
get that game.
Dude,
I remember dumps.
I don't.
A disgusting amount of hours in that game.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I don't like Ermac's design. Ermac looks like the Collector.
Ermac,
from
he
does.
I
MK11.
hated the Collector. I hated anytime I had to fight the Collector.
Mhm.
I was like, I don't want to do this.
Fucking annoying, dude.
So annoying.
I need to get back into playing Mortal Kombat 11 though.
See,
I wanted to play it competitively.
I never played it like super hard. I just played it casually.
Right.
The only person I tried to learn moves for was Liu Kang. I love Liu Kang. My first Mortal Kombat game I ever played was Shaolin Monks.
Fuck yeah.
And it's like the, like kind of open world
Yeah.
story game where you're Liu Kang and Kung Lao.
Mhm.
And that's where I was like, oh, Liu Kang is awesome. This
For
guy
real.
is the shit.
That's how I was in Deception, but I played the PSP port, which was Unchained, and Liu Kang is a zombie in that game.
yeah, he comes back
Yeah,
as
because
a
he
like a
gets killed by Shang Tsung and he comes back as a zombie.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of the game that I'm going to dump a disgusting amount of hours into.
Which is?
this year.
Baldur's Gate 3.
No.
Spider-Man.
I can't see.
It is
Spider-Man 3.
I just got a PC. I'm keeping my PlayStation just for Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Just for Spider-Man.
I pre-ordered the new the limited edition bundle for
Hell yeah.
It gives all the extra
PS5.
suits. It gives like
all the
Moon
extra
Knight
suits,
Spider
yeah.
Arachnite. That's what it's called, Arachnite.
But it's
That's sick.
It was the limited edition skin for the PlayStation 5 because
oh, you got the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Where it's like got the
Venom
symbiote.
on it,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
That's cool.
There's a
That's
theory that because have you seen the reveal trailer where it shows Venom at the very end?
Yeah.
There's a theory that people think that that's Peter Parker. People think
So-
that
Damn.
the movie's going to consist the game's going to consist of I think like first somehow they're going to fight or get the symbiote and it's going to consist of just gradually the whole game Peter's getting more
Yeah.
and more evil and angry
Well-
and then it's going to end with him fighting Miles as Venom.
So I heard one leak.
If it's an actual leak, I don't want to know.
I don't know. It's all grain of salt.
Well, when you say leak,
I don't know.
call it a theory.
It's a rumor.
Call it a theory.
It's like a rumor.
It's a theory.
theory. Well,
Okay,
I like it. I like that.
theory.
It makes me feel a lot better
Is
if
it,
it happens than I'll
so
just say it was a confirmed theory.
Because like it was,
It's just a hunch.
but it was.
Basement Whispers.
No, I can't even remember what it was that I was going to say. Well, one thing in the trailer was you see Mary Jane running away from like the symbiote Peter, And so there is one thing, speculation, where people are saying, "Oh my God, we're gonna be running from Peter in this game."
Yeah, that theory where it's gonna be
It's
a
like
stealth mission, or it's like her against the wall, and then he's in like the
symbiote
hole in the
room,
wall,
And so
they've got a lot to cover in that game.
Yeah.
The lizard is gonna be introduced. They talked about Kurt Connors,
Lizard,
Kraven the Hunter, and
Wraith.
I hope we're gonna get a Green Goblin.
So
at least a reference at the end or something for the next game.
Was the basically someone had said, I can't remember if it was a leak, a rumor, a theory, but that Kraven is going to be kind of like a misdirect, like Mr.
Like how Martin Lee was in the first one.
So like for the first half, Kraven's in there, but then the second half is going to be like Venom is the main baddie, and then a final baddie, which might be the Green Goblin.
I would love that.
Is this whole game going to be canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or not?
No, it's like a PlayStation universe. It's actually a PlayStation universe.
Okay,
it's the Marvel
Games Sony's universe.
If you've seen have you seen the new Spider-Man movie, Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
In it, they have the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, and they call him the video game guy, or like they literally say the video game, like call him a video game character.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's actually I had seen this thing where they were saying that Insomniac Spider-Man is Team Miguel O'Hara. Has everyone
all of them are?
Has everyone here seen Spider-Verse?
I have not.
Okay, I guess we can't really talk too much about it, but like
it's also a relatively fresh movie, so I feel like it's bad to talk about fresh movies.
That movie's been out for it came out like a couple months ago.
Still, I feel like more than a year.
I've seen it 4 times, bro.
Me personally, I don't care, Caleb. I don't know about you.
I do a little bit because I'm gonna watch it at some point.
All right,
that's fair.
So, all right, well, on to a different topic. So, alternative goth girls.
I was gonna ask something. What is y'all's favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, that's actually
because I know that was
just
kind of
Marvel movies.
Just Marvel.
I prefer X-Men over Avengers. I don't think all the X-Men movies are better than the Avengers. I just I think the X-Men are cooler heroes.
Days of Future Past is pretty great.
Mm-hmm. I think Days of Future Past is good.
I'm a Deadpool fan. I'm a fan of like the.
I love Deadpool.
The fuck you.
Deadpool.
I'm gonna kill people. Type heroes.
Right.
I love
constantly
Deadpool.
Breaking the fourth wall.
I think. Like they kind of got the character Deadpool wrong because he is more of like a tragedy behind the mask type of character.
No,
he hides that. What do you?
No. Have you read any of the Deadpool comics?
He gets cancer.
Yeah,
and he covers that like he can't die, so he acts like how he acts because he can't die.
Films have done like a.
They did him so good in the movies.
Yeah. So good.
They did him so good.
Now, if we're talking about the Fox movies, they did him fucking. Dirty.
We don't talk about X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got an unpopular opinion.
In Deadpool 2, they decanonized it, and they asked the producers, like, is that canon? They were like, yeah, everything that happened in the end credit scene or mid credit scene is canon.
Sweet.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Deadpool gets killed by Deadpool, and that guy, wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that's tragic. I have the very unpopular opinion. I actually don't hate that movie. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I just don't hate it. I have fond memories of it as a kid.
I think it is cool. As a kid, I thought it was cool. But as someone who understands the comics better, the whole, like, Wolverine, I think they show it in the newer X-Men movies with, like, Sophia Turner or whatever as Jean Grey. Yeah. When they show Wolverine, they basically were rebooting his origin there, and that was so comic book. If you look at the comic book images of him with the mask that he has on from the movie, it literally looks like it was ripped straight out of the comics.
Apocalypse?
Yes, Apocalypse. Because I was like, we're gonna have Wolverine the rest of this movie, and they let him go. But they did such a better job in that one scene where he has that hallway fight. Yeah. Than X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, it's fairly you don't want to get into details. It's like, that's how he got his powers. Or the adamantium, he always had his regeneration and
regenerative
stuff. But my favorite Marvel movie, and I think not another Marvel movie holds a candle to this, Logan.
Really?
Logan. I think it is the best. I think it's the most comic book. I think it's so good.
Logan is definitely one of the Marvel movies that actually made me feel genuine emotions.
I cried like
Yeah.
3 times.
Me too.
When he's in there and the clone, like X-24 or whatever, the clone of Wolverine comes in and like puts his fist on Patrick Stewart's Professor X and then stabs him.
Yeah.
I was crying. I was bawling. I was with my dad and my little brother. And my little brother was like, why is he crying so much? And my dad was like, you realize that he's been watching Hugh Jackman as Wolverine since... Because I was 17 or 18 when it came out, and he had been Wolverine for 17 years.
Yeah.
It's like, he's the only hero that has been only that hero for my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
It was the end of my childhood.
Yeah.
You know, when he dies at the end, bald. 20 minutes later after we got out of the theater, I thought about it again. Bald. It was so good.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know her name, but the girl that plays Wolverine's daughter,
She
Great
did
job.
such a great job.
amazing. She did so good.
Isn't she only like 7 or 8 in the movie?
She's pretty young. She's
like
pretty
a
young.
child.
Yeah, she did so good. It was amazing. Such a good movie. I think such a good cast off for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So I was kind of like, no, I'm not gonna lie. I was not disappointed at all when I heard he was coming back in a Deadpool movie. But if he would have came back in anything but Deadpool, I would have been disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would have
100%.
been. There's a theory for Deadpool 3. People think that it's gonna be him killing the Fox cinematic universe, going through killing all the Fox X-Men.
Kind
I
of
don't
like
know
a
if it'll
Deadpool
be-
kills the Marvel Universe type of
Kinda
story.
like
That
a
would be really
reference to
cool.
that.
That'd be really cool. I don't think that would be the entire movie though. I think that'd be like an end credit scene or like a little like
Why?
divot.
They have casted Owen Wilson as a confirmed
Oh shit.
in the cast, and
Okay.
he's involved with the TVA.
Yeah.
So, theory is that it's going to be him, you know, trying to get chased by the TVA
Just
or
to
something like
verify.
that.
That's you, right?
Yes,
Heard.
but it seems like he's going to be, you know, getting chased by the TVA. I hope that is more just a end credit scene. Owen Wilson. I think it would be so awesome to see him going around killing the whole cinematic universe
For
of
real.
Fox.
That'd be really cool.
Would be awesome.
That's one of the only comic books I've genuinely read all the way through. Is
I've read it
Deadpool
so many
Kills.
times. I've read it
the-
online. I want to find a physical copy of it.
I think
I have one of the like
the
the
giant size.
The compendiums.
Yeah.
They have made a second one. It's
with
Deadpool kills
Punisher?
the Marvel Universe again,
yeah.
and
I
it's
saw that.
like he does it a little different. I think in that one he gets mind controlled or drugged by Red Skull, and he thinks that the villains he's killing are. Well, he thinks the heroes he's killing are villains.
Yeah, that's right.
And then after he realizes he just killed all the heroes, so he goes through and like kills all the villains. And it's really cool
lovely.
because Red Skull becomes the president of the United States.
Yep.
And he gives like pieces of land to other villains. I think Magneto rules the Midwest or something. But he like goes through and murders all these
I've
guys.
always wanted them to do like something with Magneto. Like, there's so much stuff that they can do.
I want Michael Fassbender to stay Magneto.
For
He's a-
real. He's pretty great.
Phenomenal Magneto.
But like with all the like Holocaust stuff that like happened to Magneto,
It's
as
a
kid.
major thing in his backstory.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's why he's how he is.
Yeah, and like it's touched upon in the films, but like I feel like they could do an entire movie or a trilogy or something.
I would love to see a Magneto solo, him as a kid.
Yeah,
You know, that would be so good.
yeah.
But
I just need to rewatch
I
those
think we
X-Men
should
movies again.
maybe
Because-
explain how why Magneto is why he is for the non-comic book nerds.
Yeah. Well, because like I have one of the Magneto comics, and it like it's a major part of like when they flesh him out as a character.
I love the nitty-gritty stuff when it gets into like why characters the way they are.
Like going back to my statement about Deadpool and him being like a tragedy behind the mask. And all
Every
that.
hero's a tragedy behind the
Right.
mask.
Yeah, they gotta have a reason to be a hero.
That's the basic thing of any supervillain or
Yeah.
hero.
One of my favorite like comics with Deadpool is there's a girl and she's about to jump off like a building,
I've seen this.
Yeah.
and he's just like, do it, and she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, just do it.
Well, he goes,
and
it might be better if you go down there. Do it
Yeah.
on Parker Industries.
yeah, and like he's just kind of like doing the worst thing possible, but then he's like, well, he's like, before you do that, is there anything you want to do? So they go see Hamilton, and he kills 2 people to get their seat.
He like goes through and basically like takes her on like a bucket list.
Yeah,
And then
but
she
then-
realizes, well, maybe life is worth it.
No, his
That's not
last
what- that's not
stop is he takes her to a mental hospital and he says, "I can't," or not a mental hospital, but like a
psych ward type
yeah,
thing.
and he's like, "I'm not the person to help you, and I can't. But here are people who can if you're willing to."
Yeah.
And
Well, I think that's because when they first made him, he was like supposed to be a villain,
yeah,
and then he became an
didn't-
anti-hero, and he's becoming more of just a hero who kills.
yeah, through through like the what was it? It was like the early 2000s run and onward was when they really started to give him a lot more character.
So he was made in I think '86,
Yep.
and in
Was
the
it 86?
because
I thought it was 90s because it was Liefeld.
I'm pretty sure he was meant to be a direct like copy of Deathstroke.
Oh yeah,
Wait, well,
yeah,
Deathstroke's
100%.
name is Slade Wilson.
Mhm.
He's Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
Deadpool, Deathstroke.
Right.
They have the same weapons. Both
Deadpool.
regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
Except Deadpool is better than him.
Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty sure it's
agree.
'86.
What would it be? Deadpool first appearance?
That's one like DC versus Marvel thing I'd like to see is just Deadpool versus Deathstroke.
Look up,
1991.
Epic Death Battles.
Hell yeah.
New
They have
Mutants.
that, and they go through all their power lists and why one would beat the other.
That's really cool. I'll have to watch that when I go home.
That's sick.
New Mutants 98 cover dated February 1991.
91.
Yeah.
I knew it was.
You were close.
Yeah.
I thought it was later 90s, but yeah, no. But yeah, so that's why Scott Pilgrim versus the World is great.
Oh yeah, phenomenal. Watch the movie,
Shit
please.
we've going on.
Yeah, but
For real.
that being said, this has been a very fun episode. I feel like
We're only at an hour 10.
we're
like
hour 10,
20
but like
Everton, we can vamp for another 20 minutes
yeah,
if we want
I
to.
can keep going.
well,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say was, Caleb, do you have any logical advice for us this week?
Logical advice for you. I do have a couple of things. So I don't remember what a little tune was, but logical advice with Caleb. So step 1: don't do fucking drugs. For the love, okay. I would disagree with that. You can do some drugs.
Do some
right.
of the drugs.
Don't get addicted to drugs.
Dude,
don't get addicted, and particularly don't do opiates. Don't do cocaine. It's gonna be fun, yeah, sure, but
Cocaine ruin your brain.
Maybe try it once.
Hey,
after like the
please don't do cocaine.
6th or 7th time, you're gonna be addicted. So
You ain't never gonna see me doing drugs.
6 or 7. Hey, that 5. Don't
Yeah.
go past 5, guys. You're at 5. You're good.
Yeah, but you gotta space it out. You gotta do it like once a year. It's gotta be like
I
your
would-
like New Year's Eve thing or something like that.
That's okay. So if I start doing that now, by the time I'm 27, I would have done coke 5 times. That's 4 more times than I'd like to do it. I'd like to try every drug once.
Yeah, do drugs responsibly.
Yeah, but for the love of, don't fucking touch opiates because you're just gonna get addicted. It doesn't matter how nice you feel or anything like that. Don't do fucking drugs.
Anybody see
It's gonna
Breaking
ruin your
Bad?
entire life.
Anybody
So-
seen Breaking Bad? Remember what happened to Jane?
So the reason I say this is me and a few of my friends, Elo was there too. We cleaned out a house. So, we worked for this place. I'm not gonna name any names or say anything like that. But essentially this place that we worked for goes in after a place has been like foreclosed or whatever, and goes in and cleans out all the previous owner's shit. So in doing this, you get to like piece together somebody's life like after they've already been gone. Like it's wild how much of somebody's like personality, or not even their personality, but just like how much about somebody you can learn just by going through their shit. So like this person, like they had like a good job, like they were college educated, they were clearly on a very good path in life, and then fucking drugs happened. They were like growing shit in their basement and found
needles.
used needles all over the place, and it's depressing to see, especially like this person, like a couple of things done differently, they would have been fucking living life right now. They'd be like living their
Normal
game.
person.
They would have been a normal, like your average everyday person. Which, granted, for some people that's not the greatest thing in the world, but at least you're not on the streets begging for, another dose.
Yeah.
So don't do drugs. On the second hand, learn some self-respect, as Scott Pilgrim.
That's what Scott Pilgrim was taught us.
That's
So-
what we learned from
so kindly taught us. So like, it doesn't matter what other people think of you at the end of the day. Yeah, just take what they say and consider it. Don't just ignore it. Like, it's good to consider it at least. So like, if you're being a complete dickhead, you're not gonna continue being a dickhead. But also, like, you don't need other people to live your life. Like,
Right.
All you need is yourself. At the end of the day, you're always gonna have you.
Exactly. And if you have that self-trust, that self-love, in a sense,
Yeah.
you can do fucking whatever you want. Like, you can go on a solo trip somewhere. You can build your business. You can be okay on your own. You don't have to be like
Not
always looking for the next person.
Yeah.
You don't have to be looking for that next person. You
This
can
is
just
why we
live
have-
your life.
very well said.
And to be quite honest, for a lot of people that can be like easier said than done,
Mm-hmm.
but it can still be done. Like, don't
Yeah.
give up on yourself.
You're capable of fucking anything. I mean, sure, you may not be knowledgeable about what you want to do,
Yeah.
but the internet exists for a reason. Fucking just chill for a little bit, watch a video, and look up some guides on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And
You
just
know?
believe in yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone ever listened to Modern Baseball here?
Nope.
So
Never heard of it.
they were a band from like 2011 till like 2017, I think. And they had like 3 studio albums. The first one was Sports, then it was You're Gonna Miss It All, and then Holy Ghost. And the last one was typically the 2 guitar players split up the songs, and so they would sing one and the other would sing the other and just flip back and forth. Well, the last album, Holy Ghost, was split up so that the first half was Jake and the second half was Brendan. But there's the last song on the album is called Just Another Face. And it opens with the most depressing line possible, and it's just down in the dumps and just disgusting, and
What is
I'm
the
a waste of
depressing
time
line?
and space, drifting through my selfish ways, and I don't know how I got here. It's just sad and tragic to listen to.
That's just the human experience.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we're all just
But
a speck of dust
Floating through space.
floating through the universe.
On a rock.
and it continues with that. Every lyric in the verse is, and I don't know how I got here, or I'm a waste of rock and dirt, grass and ground, and all the earth around me and around you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the pre-chorus. But still, I feel this need to change me from the inside, but I can't let anyone know just yet. And then there's the chorus, which is the complete opposite of the verse, which I believe it was a counselor who was helping him through his depression and suicidal tendencies at the time, and he was like, if it's all the same, if it's all the same, well, shoot, now I gotta look up the lyrics. I can never think of lyrics.
While he's looking that up, I do want to fucking just put this out there, just because I feel like there's a stigma about it. Go to fucking therapy. Like,
Go to therapy.
Go
If
to
you need to
therapy.
take medicine, take medicine.
if you feel like anything from you're not enough to you're going through a lot of grief to it could be literally anything. If you're at a point where you can't bring yourself to be okay with yourself, go to therapy. It exists for a reason.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, nobody really cares that much to be like, oh, you're in therapy, you must be fucking crazy. No.
And if you do, fuck
If they
you.
think that, they're the ones who need therapy the most.
Yeah.
I have a very strong opinion about, therapy and depression and stuff. My older brother committed suicide because he was depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sorry to hear about that.
yeah, it happened. I was in high school. It's been about 4 years now.
Yeah.
But there was a couple years ago, I was going through it. I was just sad all the time. The hardest person to love is yourself.
Yeah.
But the best and most rewarding person to love is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When I got through it, I loved being alone. I was fine and okay with just existing by myself.
Mhm.
Whether I was in my room, laying down watching TikTok or watching TV, I was okay with it. And it was so refreshing and relieving to know that I got there. I went to therapy, I took medicine, and it does help.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
use your support system.
Right.
It's so valuable. Every human being has worth in the world. Find yours and live life.
And if you need help with that, message the Distinguished Conversation Instagram. I'm happy to send you the resources that I use to find my therapist and get you the help that you need. There's a great website called Psychology Today, to where you can just plug in all of your criteria for what you want in a therapist, and it'll just find people in your area, and you can put in what you want, and vibes matter a lot. I will say, like,
Yeah.
look at their profile, read their pictures, or read their profile, look at their pictures. You know, if the vibe seems off, then it's probably off. Then you know, keep looking.
Yeah.
I found
Like,
the lyrics, but like honestly, they don't even.
Anywho, with that lovely information, I do believe it's time for us to end this actually quite distinguished conversation. I feel like
This got very distinguished.
For real.
Indeed.
We talked about. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna end it. Keep going.
But like we talked about Scott Pilgrim. I feel we did it diligence. We talked about comic books, our favorite movies. The one thing I do want to talk about is I have never seen you wear anything other than Converse. But
I'm wearing my Vans today.
yeah,
I did it myself. I tied it on myself.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
That's a very
I
good
put
job.
tape around the edges and on the thing. Got tie dye. I took the laces out, put them in like a shoebox.
Yeah.
I just sprayed some yellow tie dye on them, and then just put tie dye all around.
very nice.
Nice.
That's sweet.
We'll
For
take a picture
a
of
little
that
bit.
and put it on the Insta chat.
Gladly.
But yeah, no, like the entire time I've known you, you've had like two
Pair
pairs
of black Converse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Black pair of Converse.
I don't know if it's the same one or if it's been two different pairs because I ran into you.
Now had a new pair, but they look very close to my old pair.
Yeah, because I remember, was it me and Max? We ran into you at the mall
Yeah,
that one
yeah.
day.
'Cause I just got new ones. Like
Yeah.
they were clean.
Yeah,
They don't look like that anymore.
but yeah, very distinguished conversation.
Very distinguished conversation. Message us if you need help or if you have any suggestions.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's okay to not be okay. We love
Yes,
you guys
100%.
all so much.
To not
Feel
be
your
okay.
emotions.
man.
Call
no,
somebody
really.
if you need to.
If y'all need, reach out to a distinguished conversation. If you know any of us personally, we're more than happy to help you out.
100%. Even if you don't know us at all,
passionate
like
about
I'm
mental
happy to
health.
help.
I
For
will
real.
gladly, if you need someone to talk to, or if you need someone to just listen to what you have to say,
Uh-huh.
I will gladly do that.
Yeah,
Same here.
we're all ears. There are always people that can help. There are always like hotlines you can call. Just call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. Because remember, we do this not for the views, but for the viewers, and we love y'all tuning in and listening and all that. And yeah, so I can't remember where I was going with that. But
Yeah. Go get in position to end it.
I
I want to
set
say
it up.
thank you guys for letting me on.
Yeah, of course.
I had a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Very
We could
fun time.
Definitely have you on another time.
I would
yeah.
love to be on again.
Thank
can't-
you all for letting me on.
Of course. You're always welcome. You always are welcome, Marcos.
But yeah, dude, it's been an honor, Elijah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
chilling
Yes,
with us.
thanks for
Do you want to
joining
plug
everything.
anything while you're here?
I am going to be streaming Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow. Woo! Please
What-
come
what-
and watch.
What's your fucking streamer tag?
It is Lemon LEMYN with I believe 2 underscores because one with 0 underscores was taken.
Dang.
Oh,
Sweet.
dang.
But yeah, I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. So
I'll be playing with
please-
him.
please-
So you should
please
tune
join
into
and
the
watch.
stream.
It'll be
Yeah.
very fun.
And then we got some stream or not streamage, but some games to.
Yeah,
record
and then
or
we're gonna play the Scott Pilgrim video game after this. So go keep an eye on the Distinguished Conversation YouTube channel for that. So we'll post that probably by this week.
tomorrow.
Maybe
probably.
we'll see. Yeah, tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.